Hello, everybody. Welcome to 4th and 19 Tennessee Vols Fans Podcast. And we're recording a little later in the week this week. And guys, I looked it up. We are 49 days till kickoff for the Vols. So we are now less than 50 days. And you know it's getting close because next week is SEC Media Days. Those kick off on Monday. In fact, I think Heupel's speaking on Monday. So a lot to talk about in this episode, but as always, I am Jeff. I'm joined by Stryker. I'm joined by Mike. Guys, how you doing today?
It's a little rough on this I'll go ahead and say Saturday morning. Um rough week for me personally. But had the SEC takeover day on Tennessee on SEC Network, which
Got
was
to see that Florida game
always
again?
always a thing of beauty there. Um Sar Thomas is still running wild. Deshaun Bishop's still scoring touchdowns. It's a like I say, thing of beauty there. But yeah, SEC Media Days, new games out. I'm gonna try to see if I can get the new one today. Yeah,
Ooh,
man,
that's a big
49
day.
days.
That's like
Let's go.
Christmas Day when you get the new one.
Yeah, it is. It is. But yeah, it's 49 days. Let's go.
Stryker, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. It was a rough week in the strike house as well. Just a lot going on, and feel like it's been that way for the 4th and 19 crew in general.
Yeah.
Lately with the little things here and there. But I do have my oldest turns 10 this weekend.
Oh, nice.
That is
I've
awesome.
got
How's he feeling about it?
one.
Is he
Oh,
asking for the
he's
world in presents?
no. So fanboy was one of his big things.
Hmm.
I mean, and we spent way too much money on Legos
How
there.
many Legos you come home with?
I mean, we came home with a bag full, and now he's wanting to go to Walmart and pick out like whatever their biggest set is there.
Does he care
And
what the
then
set is as long as it's the biggest one?
no, well, he's really wanting the Spider-Man Daily Bugle Lego
Ooh.
set, which I've
That
told
sounds
him
nice.
I don't think they have that one at Walmart, but anyway, he's got that on the brain, and then he wants his dinner. He wants to do like a birthday dinner at Texas Roadhouse.
Ooh. Okay.
He's never been, and he sees all the advertisements, and it
Hey,
ori
man.
it originally was Red Lobster, and because he was like endless shrimp, sign me up.
You get endless peanuts over there at Texas Roadhouse, right?
Endless dinner rolls too.
Mm. I don't even know if they do peanuts. I haven't been to a Texas Roadhouse in
I
forever.
can't tell you the last time I was at a Texas Roadhouse.
They still do peanuts.
Okay, can you still throw them on the floor?
I think so.
Okay, that's what matters.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, all of us kind of going through thing. We have a sick dog over here at our house. Our family dog is pretty sick, but guys, I guess the silver lining is we're 49 days till kickoff, and I mentioned it. SEC Media Days start Monday. Do you guys follow SEC Media Days at all? They in Tampa this year?
It is in Tampa. Not so much anymore. Just because everything's more toned down and mellowed out. Back in the day, someone would give some kind of bulletin board material.
Oh, you don't think
uh,
Lane Kiffin's going to do that with
I,
everybody?
I don't think so because it's year one at LSU, so it'll probably be good. Next year, maybe a different story if he's still there. If he doesn't decide to go to UCLA or something, but like, so everything's pretty tame nowadays. Like I said, you don't want to give any insider competitor any type of like I said, bulletin board material. But I'm interested in the three that Tennessee decided to take with them. Aaron Carter, he went last year, but like I'm very interested in Deshaun Bishop and Jeremiah T. Lander, especially since T. Lander probably ain't playing linebacker, probably be like on the edge rushing now. um, but I'm interested to hear and see those two. Um, so yeah, I mean it's SC Media Days. We start fall practice in a couple weeks.
Yeah, and I would typically try to follow that with, "Ooh, striker, where would you move Jeremiah Telander?" But I don't want to get into that.
He is a backup defensive end for me.
In your college football video game, is that the first thing you do in a Tennessee dynasty? Is go into the depth chart and remove Telander as a starter?
Well, I mean, he's not a starter according to how I usually set up my team. So yes,
So yes, that's the first thing he does. Striker's Telander vendetta is moving into 2026. Speaking of previews and insight, guys, we are going to continue our 2026 football position groups preview today. We are actually going to try to fit in three position groups today. We're going to talk about running backs, we're going to talk about tight ends, and we're going to talk about wide receivers. Striker, how do you feel about these three units as a whole?
I feel really good about the tight end unit. Um, I feel like, as long as we're healthy, we've got some definite talent there. That's probably the one I feel the best about. I would say second would be wide receivers and third would be running backs.
And I'm sure out of all of those, the we talked about offensive line, we feel pretty good about. So I'm wondering, guys, do you think overall with this offense, and we'll get into it more as we preview these position groups, but besides the quarterback unit, which we've talked endlessly about, we will preview that position group, but that's by far the most dramatic position group right now for the Vols. So naturally, we got to put that one off a little bit. But how do you think the offense is shaping up outside of quarterbacks? Do you think that is a pretty solid offense if the quarterbacks show up and play well?
I mean, I really feel like it is. I mean, 1,000 yard runner in Deshaun Bishop, you'll need depth behind him because if Lord forbid if he gets hurt, what do we do? But the way Heupel and his offenses have been anyway, you know, with the wide splits, I mean, you're going to have a light box anyway. You got to
You've been
see
watching that
that.
Florida game again.
Yeah, I mean, you have to
They ran
because
Lightbox the whole game.
yeah. But I mean, you've got 1,000 yard rusher Deshaun Bishop. The year before that, 1,000 yard rusher in Dylan Sampson. Before that, 1,000 yard rusher in Jalen Wright. So I mean, it's three different backs, three different running styles, three different 1,000 yard seasons. So and you also have to think that early on last year, I mean, we were running, trying to run three running backs before Deshaun Bishop just took over. It was like, listen, I'm done with this. We're not running three anymore. You're gonna run me. Um, so he could have had way more.
Hmm.
um, but I mean, so you need the depth at running back just in case. You've got the depth everywhere else. Yeah, quarterback's the hotbed, the question mark. You got the depth at offensive line. You've got the depth at receiver. You've got the depth at tight end. The offense, I think, is going to be fine. Heupel has shown that he has made adjustments. He's gone to 12 personnel. Even Chris Brazzell in his NFL interviews saying, the offense is different from, when they had, in 24 to 25, and he can run every, route in the route tree. So we are evolving in that aspect with our wide receivers. The better the wide receiver that Heupel's bringing in, the more he's expanding the offense. So realistically, with this team, if the defense shows any kind of improvement, and if the quarterback, quote unquote, could just be a Casey Clausen esque game manager, we'll be fine.
Man, you mentioned those three backs that have hit 1,000 yards. It is impressive that three different backs have done it. But let us remember only one of those backs was a preferred walk on from Carnes High School.
That's a true statement. Down the street from the house.
Down the street, but we're going to talk about and ask the question rather, Can he do it again? Because it's the first time we've had a 1,000-yard runner return under Heupel. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So we will find out. We are going to take a quick break here. When we come back, we are going to preview that running back unit. Is it all Deshaun Bishop? Or was there enough depth there to get through an entire season and maybe see a few fireworks from our running backs? So stick around. Should be a good conversation. This is 4th and 19. And we're back on 4th and 19. And as we said in the open, 49 days, guys. Less than 50 now. 49 days till that Furman game and kickoff of the 2026 season. And we'll get our first look at this running back room for 2026. We got some new faces in there, but we also have an old, reliable, familiar face in 1,000-yard rusher, Deshaun Bishop. We talked about it a little bit in the open, but guys, for this segment, you can go into a little detail. How does the running back room look?
Right now, it looks like Deshaun Bishop left, Deshaun Bishop right, Deshaun Bishop up the middle. Just give it one more time to go and get the first down just in case. And then Deshaun Bishop left, Deshaun Bishop right, Deshaun Bishop up the middle. Question marks after obviously all SEC 1,000-yard rusher Deshaun Bishop there. Was it Dwayne? I think that's Dwayne Morris. He played a little bit,
Dewan Morris, yeah.
Dwayne Morris, sorry, Mr. Morris. Played a little bit, last year as the fourth running back. Potential's there. Transfer, Javin Gordon. I haven't really seen much on him. I have to do a little research there.
Where'd he come from again?
Tulane.
Yep.
Tulane.
We've had good luck with Tulane
we,
transfers.
we have had good luck with Tulane transfers. So hopefully that'll, we'll strike gold there again. But like I said, just the depth behind Deshaun is very questionable. But at the same time, if there's something that Heupel's been able to produce every year that he's been at Tennessee, it's a strong running game. Again, based off the scheme of the wide splits and everyone wanting to, except for Florida, try to play two safeties up top and coverage on the outside to create kind of those light boxes. Um, we should be okay in that aspect. We got a strong offensive line to help. Just got to develop some backup pieces.
Yeah, I can't argue that. I like the idea of Deshaun Bishop left, Deshaun Bishop right, Deshaun Bishop up the middle, but that does beg the question, like you're talking about depth. Striker, what do you think about the depth of this running back room?
We've got two former walk-ons in Deshaun Bishop, Hunter Barnes, transfer in Javin Gordon, and three stars. If if the college football video games any indicator, Deshaun Bishop and Javin Gordon are pretty decent.
Yeah,
Um,
Javin Gordon looks pretty good on that game. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah, he does. But other than that, I really don't. I mean, we're gonna need Deshaun Bishop to stay healthy.
Yeah, I'm curious to
Uh,
see because if you remember last year, Deshaun Bishop, I'm not gonna lie, he came in, he looked in great shape. Like the dude, like
oh
looked
yeah,
the part of like a strong, stout running back. I'm curious to see with this Owings weight room regimen if Deshaun Bishop is going to be even bigger and stronger.
I don't know that he needs to be too much bigger though, with his shape and size and the way he runs. He's so nimble and quick. And that seems to be Heupel's kind of running back style. And what he's looking for is a nimble running back. He's not looking for your Jamal Lewis or Travis Stevens. He's looking for somebody that can, you know, fit through little cracks.
Yeah, that seems to be Because I remember that, we had that with Deshaun Bishop. We had it definitely with Dylan Sampson. Jalen Wright was just get that man out in the open and let him run. But there seems to be an aspect to Heupel's running scheme that requires patience and then a quick burst through a hole. Because it's not often they like to pull the guard a lot, which takes time to set up.
But yeah, and if you look at the running back room, they all pretty much have the same exact build.
Yeah, I think all of his
5'10",
backs have for the most part.
yeah,
I think so.
5'10", 200 to 215 pounds. That's every running back on the roster.
Is that just because he likes that small, quick burst to just get through a hole? But you want that quick burst so they can be patient sometimes, let the hole develop, but then get up to top speed pretty quick. Usually they have
I
a
mean,
bit
I
of
would,
spin move in them too. He likes backs that can run a little bit of a move. I think who was it? Dylan Sampson had that spin move
yeah.
Yeah.
that was pretty impressive and effective.
So I don't know if we'll ever see a day of him recruiting those big 5-star running backs other than David George's, but that's also a hometown kid
And yet
for
to
the most
sign,
part.
that one's still up in the air. I think right now they're saying 50-50 that David Gabriel Georges goes to Tennessee, 50% Tennessee, 50% Ohio State. Is that correct? And Ole Miss is just kind of third wheel right now.
Yeah, it's us and the Buckeyes.
So we talk about Deshaun Bishop, talk about how, he's really going to at least carry this running back room, and I would imagine carry it early in the season. We don't know what's going to happen. Javon Gordon could come on. Dewan Morris, we saw some flashes from him, mostly in limited action, what some call garbage time. But is Deshaun Bishop, with his like prominent stature in this running back room, is he poised for another 1,000-yard rushing season?
Oh, absolutely. He is the guy now. Like I mentioned earlier, last year, three-headed, monster that we tried to, employ early, and then it just became, look, let's Deshaun Bishop's the hot hand, let's just stay with him. Deshaun Bishop's the hot hand, let's just stay with him. Like I said, just if we weren't splitting carries between him, Star Thomas, and Peyton Lewis, he would have had more. um, Probably would have gotten hurt a little bit more, so I understand why we went that route. But this man literally carried an entire high school to the best season that they've ever had.
Yeah, Karn's not traditionally known for having
Yeah.
a strong
Like
program.
he put that school on the map, gave them playoff success that they haven't, seen or reached before or been to since. So as long as he stays healthy, that's the key. So don't pull a Meacham on him in '05 there,
I'm
Jeff.
not going to do it.
and
I didn't
and
pull a Meacham. The fates pulled a Meacham. I'm just happened to read the fates that morning.
so don't pull an '05 Meacham there, and Deshaun Bishop will, as long as he stays healthy, will be 100% okay in the running back department.
Yeah, you give me way too much power over players' health. Just reading the fates, Mike.
I mean, you're like a god when it comes to that.
I would never say it publicly though. Striker, Dewan Morris. Do you? We saw limited glimpses of him last year, mostly late in games when the games were already put away. Maybe later in the season we brought him in more, but we had, three good running backs last year in Deshaun Bishop, Peyton Lewis, and Star Thomas, who's still down there in Gainesville running around. I think on third and forever. Do you see Dewan Morris progressing enough to where he can take that number two spot, or do you think Javon Gordon, as the new college football game seems to suggest, is that number two back behind Bishop?
I mean, I don't know that we got to really see enough of Morris last year to say what he can do, but I think with Javin's experience, we'll probably see him a little bit more. It just depends on which one. I think it really will boil down to who understands the playbook better
Hmm. And they're
and
both
what they're
sophomores, correct?
they're yeah, they're both sophomores, they're both 5'10", they're both 200 to 210 pounds.
What's Deshaun Bishop? I mean, I know he's a
Uh,
junior,
five,
but
5'10", 215
yeah,
pounds.
it's Heupel has a type, right?
Yeah. So between Morris and Gordon, I think it's really going to depend on who understands what they're supposed to be doing the most.
So we got two sophomores, so it could be a glimpse into the future unless David Gabriel Georges comes along. What are the odds that Deshaun Bishop returns for a senior year after this season?
Oh, that would be ideal.
Just think if
I know what you're going to say.
EGG decides to come to us,
Hmm.
if he decides to come and Deshaun stays, somebody's transferring. No,
One of those two, you think?
no, no.
Or
Something like
d
Ron Morris or somebody after them is leaving.
would a Deshaun Bishop DGG backfield be the best tandem the Vols have had since the two Travises? Granted,
I
it's hard
would,
to tell with DGG. He's a high
I
school kid
would,
right now.
yeah, I would throw that up there, but based on what they did and what's come out, I would have to throw an Arian Foster, Monterio
Oh
Hardesty
yeah,
backfield in there, like that '06. That was pretty good backfield.
yeah. I heard Hardesty's still out there breaking tackles against Cal defenders.
He is. He had an article or a podcast or something come out where he said that I guess that summer Hardesty like really put the work in, and so Foster like saw it. It was like, oh crap, I got to get my stuff together if I'm gonna.
That's what you like though when they're pushing each other like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So they were pushing each other.
And let us not forget in that Cal run that I referenced, Robert Meacham's incredible block, the tail end of that run.
Oh yes, oh yeah. On the hard, yeah, on the long Hardesty run. Oh my god,
Yeah. Oh, I got you excited. He had to lean back
oh my
delivering that
god.
block.
Like
Uh,
whoo.
so last episode we previewed the offensive line, and we seem to be pretty confident in their ability and in their depth. How much is this O line going to factor into the running backs' success? Is it everything?
I mean, yeah. If football's a very simple game. I mean, especially in the SEC, line of scrimmage league, offensive and defensive lines control everything that goes on in the SEC, in football in general. If your offensive line is not where it needs to be as far as, run blocking, nothing else matters. Yeah, everybody wants to see the passes and throwing for 300 yards and the deep ball, but none of that happens if your offensive line is shoddy.
True. And Striker, real quick, with the uncertainty that the Vols have at quarterback, a lot of questions. We don't even know who the starter is going to be at this point. We may not know who the starter is going to be 1, 2, 3 games into the season. So I'm wondering, does Tennessee shift to more of a power spread run attack, similar to how we had in 2024, if you remember, when Nico was kind of struggling to sling the ball around and they really went to Dylan Sampson, really spread teams out just to run, kind of count that box and see what you got and hope that, Dylan Sampson could bust a big run. Do you see us returning to something like that if there's struggles at the QB position?
Definitely, if we're really struggling. I mean, the hope is whoever's back there at quarterback can just get the ball in the right spot to Matthews or Staley or Brom or Davis, whoever whoever's out there. But if we are having struggles with that, I can see us going all across the field just to get less defenders in the box. I
Well,
mean,
weird.
that I think that suits Bishop's running style perfect though.
So you could see him thriving in something like Sampson got in 24.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he's got
Yeah.
a very similar style to him. And the less, if you give him some one-on-ones, he's going to break something.
Yeah, that's one of the beauties of these backs too, is you traditionally with Heupel's system, you'd count the box. You'd say a hat on a hat. But with Sampson and I imagine with Bishop, you could be almost -1 in the box so long as they can beat that
Absolutely.
extra guy. And they've proven that they can do that sometimes. So that'll be interesting to see. We know quarterback's going to be the big thing, but you mentioned it. If the quarterback can get the ball out to Staley, to Matthews, to Rodarius Jackson, to an Ethan Davis, and the thing in 24 that really struck me is, we need to get the ball out quickly. That seemed to be a struggle in 24. Was no offense to Nico, but he held the ball a lot. He was a redshirt freshman, but he held the ball a lot in the pocket, and so sometimes those routes would break down. It's a great segue, though, because, guys, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to preview the tight end room and the wide receiver room. And I'm wondering how you guys will stack this wide receiver room up with the others Heupel has had at Tennessee. Because for me personally, this is a really, really talented wide receiver room with a decent amount of experience. So we'll take a quick break and we will see what we think of these wide receivers and then what we think of these tight ends, because I think it's a different kind of group than we've had in the past with Heupel. So stick around. It's 4th and 19. We'll be right back. Welcome back to 4th and 19. And guys, we're just rolling right along here, previewing these 2026 position groups. As we said, 49 days till kickoff. But guys, let's talk some tight ends. Let's talk some wide receivers. And we're going to start with the tight ends. So we saw last year we had Miles Kitselman. He was a little banged up for a lot of the year, it seemed. And Ethan Davis came in and showed some of that athleticism that had been promised. No more Miles Kitselman. Van Dorselaar transferred out. So it is Ethan Davis and some, you could say some question marks, but there's definitely some athleticism in that tight end room. So, guys, is this the most athletic tight end room Heupel has ever had?
I would say yes. Um, just a quick peek. I mean, you got Ethan Davis. I think he's gonna blow up this year. Deshaun, is it Brom, who was a beast in the 26 game, um, after, Kitselman and Davis left, at least for me anyway. But someone that's kind of down on the depth chart that I've kind of heard some good things from, Britt Hubbs from, I think it's on Vols, like on three. Cole Harrison. That's a name to watch out for. Um, Heibel doesn't tend to go three deep at tight end, um, but there's a chance that his Cole Harrison's athleticism is just too much to keep on the bench. So just a name to ponder and think about, and
He's a
kind of
sophomore, too, correct?
he's a sophomore as well. Yes,
So, same as Brom.
redshirt sophomore.
Brom's a
So
true sophomore. Okay.
Rom's a true sophomore, but just like I said, just a name to kind of keep in the back of your mind. Cole Harrison.
Striker, I know you've been playing the new college football video game, and it's funny that that's what we use to preview these players. Sometimes like, oh, he's looking good on the game, so that has to translate to real life. Um, you pretty impressed with redshirt junior Ethan Davis so far?
Absolutely. And this is another, you're starting to see a trend just like you did in the running backs. All of the tight ends on the roster right now are basically 6'5", 250 pounds. And they're all pretty much that athletic type receiver. You don't have any pure blockers really um, in that tight end room. So you're seeing the scheme, the types of players he likes. I'm listening to all the other outlets talk about. I think this could be Tennessee's year. I think this could be Tennessee's year. I mean, he's got the pieces that he wants um, in the positions that he wants, and it seems to be his wheelhouse in terms of the talent that he has. So if that defense can step up, you could see a lot of production out of, the running backs, tight ends, and receivers this year.
What does the shift to a more kind of, I don't say lean, but maybe like a lean athletic tight end? What's the advantage in a Heupel system for your tight end to be like that rather than a big blocker?
Well, I mean, I think it just gives you more options on who you can get the ball to. I mean, if you've got, I mean, like Van Dorsler, I wouldn't have really considered him an athletic type tight end. He was more a traditional tight end, and he didn't really have the hands, I think, that what Heupel wants. So they didn't really fight to keep him too hard. But with the athletic tight ends, that gives you another outlet. That gives you another option. If you've got a really good athletic tight end, you're putting them one on one with a linebacker sometimes,
Hmm.
and that's you know that's money in the bank.
Yeah, we saw that last year. Mike, you mentioned Tennessee Takeover Day on the SEC Network, and the football game they showed was the Florida game for last year. And Ethan Davis made an impact immediately on that first touchdown. Was that a linebacker that he just kind of shrugged off on
I
that
think it
RPO
was.
because
Yeah,
they'd run that little triangle formation? It seems like where they put the tight end on the side and then run an RPO, put him out like he's on block, then he releases. But yeah, we saw some speed from Ethan Davis, and he's got a bit of elusiveness. Do you expect him to have quite a few receptions this year?
oh yeah, definitely. Safety valve. If they're trying to get the ball out quick, big tight end target is the way to go. Kind of early on. I mean, if you go back to Nico, he was doing the same thing. You
And
know,
Kitzelman.
the first touchdown pass that he had, I'm pretty sure was to Ethan Davis.
Yeah, it
Uh,
was in the was it Chattanooga?
yeah. And even in that NC State game, his touchdown pass were to tight ends.
Yeah, he had
So
Kitzelman for one that was, I mean, Kitzelman's most wide open
yeah.
receiver ever in that play.
So yeah, kind of early on while you're getting your feet wet, they'll be, you know, big targets. Georgia Tech look for tight ends. Once hopefully quarterback play, develops more than, your Staley than your Matthews, and whoever number three is will start to pick up the receptions and touchdowns. Um, but I mean, you can even go back to Princeton Fant.
Yeah,
Like he was a big part of Heupel's, first
he
offense.
he kind of played everywhere.
Yeah. Jacob Warren, no, kind of the same way. I still remember him wide open on a bus against Florida Effing Gators. Um,
That was after that was the next play, I think, after a Florida fumble,
I think
if
it
I
was.
remember correctly.
um, but yeah, Heupel will get the tight ends involved. I'm like Striker, he has a certain idea for what a tight end should look like, and they all fit that mold. Just be ready for tight ends a lot early in often. I don't know if we're going to use that 12 personnel as much because these guys need to be lined up outside because they'll beat linebackers, they'll beat corners. But if we are struggling a little bit, you can imagine that they will go to that 12 personnel and be like, all right, Deshaun, let's go. So
And then you got a blocker.
and then you got your blocker. I mean, even if it's for just a second, just put a hat on him, just move out of the way for just a second, just let Deshaun Bishop get through, get past you, and you're good. No holding, real quick hit. Deshaun Bishop goes by him. But yeah, it's all coordinated together. But yeah, I think Ethan Davis, Deshaun Braun, Cole Harrison, watch out.
What about the two transfers? We do have two transfers. We have Trent Thomas from South Alabama and Drake Martinez from UT Martin. Do you see them getting any significant play time this year?
Possibly, but I do feel like more traditionally with the tight end position, Heupel does roll with two. So that's generally going to be Davis and Brom. If one of them gets hurt, um, you may can see one of those, but like I said, my money is on Cole Harrison.
Well, speaking of receiving tight ends, we're now going to switch to receivers in general. And guys, there's a lot of returning talent in this wide receiver room this year. There's some incoming talent as well. Some people say this is one of the best wide receiver rooms in the SEC this season. Do you agree?
Oh yeah, top heavy in Matthews and Staley. Very deep, but kind of unproven. But I mean, 5-star TK Keys, high fours in Rodarius Jackson, Travis Smith Jr. We saw Joakim Dotson in the ball game with his
Kickoff
speed.
return, wasn't it?
Yes, like and the forgotten man who was down the street at Catholic High School in Tyreek King. Like there's talent all over the place. Heupel traditionally just plays the three with the question marks at quarterback. It seems like we always go back to that. But with the question mark at quarterback, you probably won't have too many coming in and out of the rotation just so that you can build that chemistry with the three. Matthews and Staley aren't coming off the field. I mean, just based upon last year, Mike Matthews, Bradley Staley are not coming off the field unless they're carried off with injury. And Lord, please don't let that happen. Don't pull a Meacham in '05. Um,
Man,
the
you keep going
next
back to
question
that today.
the next question mark is who's going to play that third wide receiver or I guess the Z position they call.
Yeah.
It's usually
Say
the right.
Rodarius or
It's usually that right side of the offense. Your Tillman, your Dante Thornton, your Chris Brazzles. Um, who's going to play that other spot? And you've got a lot of talent to try to put in there. My money is again on Rodarius Jackson and TK Keys battling that out. Um, but I mean, Heupel's very creative. He could find a way. I know y'all that y'all put striker. I think you said you put Staley on the outside. And
put Staley in that X position.
yeah, like you could move Matthews and Staley around, and if you could find the matchup that you want at that slot with Keys or Jackson, eh, you can create a lot of problems with the wide receiver position in this offense.
Striker, we got Braylon Staley. Correct me if I'm wrong, the reigning SEC freshman of the year. Besides what you think of him in the new college football video game, is he about to break out this year?
I mean, I think he broke out last year.
He
Um,
broke. I mean, yeah, that's freshman of the year in the conference. Is this year? Is he going to be fighting for? I mean, how much of a breakout is it going to be? Is it going to be SEC Offensive Player of the Year style? Is he going to be a Bolitnikoff watch
I
list
mean,
semifinalist?
unfortunately, in the wide receiver position, you are solely dependent upon your quarterback. So how he does is gonna depend on how well quarterback play is as well. He's obviously our best option. He's our number one. Matthews, I think, is our number two. And then it's a battle for your number three. You know, we also have the transfer from Idaho State, Duarte.
Ian Duarte, yeah.
You know, more of a, I think, a return specialist. But I mean, with his speed, you could also put him in the slot and cause some problems. So
You know,
there's lots of different options with this room. Mike mentioned, you know, all the different talent we got with King. You know, we really didn't mention Travis Smith that much, but he was a he was like a top recruit, and
yeah, fought some injuries last year.
he's just a true sophomore. So yeah, if he can get back to normal, you've got him, you've got King, you've got Keys, Redarius, Duarte, Dodson, and there's a ton of local guys on this wide receiver roster that, you know, they may have not been big recruits, but neither was Bishop. And we might find out that, you know, you just get them the ball and they do something special. I mean, we've got an Alcoa wide receiver, a Maryville wide receiver. You've got another one that was, I think, was a transfer, and Dion Harden. So you've got a lot of potential here. It probably talent wise, it probably is one of the deepest wide receiver groups, but it is unproven with the exception of Matthews and Staley. I'm excited to see this team though.
Well, that leads me to two questions too. One, Mike, you mentioned that Z position, that kind of third spot in the wide receiver core. And right now, yeah, you're probably right. It's Darius Jackson's at least at the start of the season. But from all we've heard, is TK Keys just too talented to keep off the field this year?
Affirmative. Yeah, I mean, 5 star, highly recruited. Him and Faison and Gabriel Ascenda. That's your offense of the future. With the exception of Osenda, that future may be this season. But yeah, everyone wanted Keys. We stole him from LSU, or he flipped from LSU. Like that. That in and of itself should tell you something. As long as he buckles down and puts the work in, he'll find a way on the field this season.
No, you hate to see it when we have to take a player from LSU because LSU, it couldn't happen to a more good, humble program.
Right.
Well, Striker, you mentioned the quarterback play, and that's going to be really contingent on this wide receiver room's success. How frustrating would it be to have such a talented wide receiver troop, but inexperience and possibly early struggles behind center?
I mean, it would lead to a lot of frustration early on if, you know, Staley, Matthews, TK, if we're not seeing numbers. I mean, this team has the potential to be putting up, you know, 40 points a game. And if we're only putting up 20 points a game to start the season, you're probably going to see a lot of frustration. It's just, you've got to get through it and grind through it. I think by the third or fourth game of the year, whoever's starting at quarterback is going to be finishing the year, barring any injuries.
Well, we will see. It's very exciting to see this offense take the field. Granted, like you said, a lot of question marks at quarterback, and that's where we're going to go next week as we finish our look at these offensive units and preview them next week. We will preview the quarterback position at Tennessee, which, strangely, no one's really talking about. It's not really a hot topic among Vol fans, the quarterback position. So I think we're good. Now we'll talk about it. Of course, that is the big spot. Who's it going to be? Is it going to be McIntyre? Is it going to be Brandon? And everybody's eyes are going to be on fall practice. I'm sure Hype will get some questions about it next week at SEC Media Day. But if you know anything about Hype, you know you will learn absolutely nothing about the quarterback race
Bro,
next week. So, guys, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back, talk about just kind of a couple things to wrap up this episode. Definitely want to get a quick preview of SEC Media Day. And then we got to check in on our dynasties because we still have one going in CFB 2026, our final one for that game. And then Mike might be joining the 27 crew soon. Then we get that new going, as they say. So we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. It's 4th and 19. And we're back on 4th and 19. And before we wrap up this episode, guys, we mentioned SEC Media Day starts in Tampa on Monday. Heupel is a day one speaker as well. It's pretty exciting. We get our SEC Media Days interest over. I think he's speaking with a few other coaches. I think Kentucky's new coach, Will Stein, speaking. Drinkwitz from Mizzou and Venables from Oklahoma are joining Heupel as day one speakers. But guys, they're the representatives for the Vols are Deshaun Bishop, Arion Carter, and yes, Jeremiah T-Lander. Were these the right choices to represent Tennessee next week?
I think so. On WNML, the Animal, Tyler and Kaner's show, they did a segment on this as well, and they pretty much agreed on. Well, they had a prediction before it was announced, and I'm pretty sure T-Lander was one that was mentioned, so that came to fruition. Yeah, these are the ones that need to go. You're not taking a quarterback for obvious reasons. Aaron Carter went last year, so it only makes sense for him to go again. I mean, Deshaun Bishop returning leading rusher from the SEC. T-Lander is a leader. He may not have the athletic ability to actually be on the field, but he's part of the deepest, probably best unit on our football team. Linebacker, maybe one, offensive line, maybe one B, two. So yeah, I think as far as that aspect goes, I think they got the right three.
Striker, how at SEC Media Days do they utilize Jeremiah T-Lander's natural leadership ability?
I guess they give him a microphone. I mean, he's been around a while, so might as well let him go and enjoy it. He's probably not going to get the most on-field time this year.
Especially not if you have anything to say about it.
Well, he's definitely not on my game, but might as well let him enjoy it. I think I mean I can't complain with these three players. I might have been I probably would have went Devin Hobbs as one of mine. Arian Carter would have been another of mine.
Yeah,
Um,
I think that's and Deshaun Bishop.
and maybe Deshaun. I mean, but I get T Lander being there just because he's been around so long, and you probably don't have to worry about him saying something stupid. Um,
Well, that makes sense. That leads me to the next thing. I'm gonna be honest with you. Heupel's typically a pretty dull speaker at these things. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he's a pretty dull speaker. We'll typically get the same platitudes we always get from Heupel. Do you expect anything interesting, or is it gonna be as scripted, as run of the mill as that mill can be?
Definitely as scripted, run of the mill. It'll be just excited to play some football. Just get out there and play some football. Interesting quarterback battle that'll go through fall camp, and we'll make a decision somewhere towards the end. But let's just get out there and play some football. Let's line up and let's hit some people, play some football, and
Somebody's ready to
yeah,
play some football.
Go play some football.
That's
You
pretty much
know,
what you. That was a good hypo impression, by the way.
Appreciate it. I've been working on that.
Yeah, Striker, you expect anything interesting from Coach Hype?
absolutely not.
Yeah.
Um, it, it's not going to be, this is not old ball coach out there.
This ain't Derek Dooley talking about the Germans in Normandy.
No, but you know who would have been fun to send is Jackson Ross.
Hey,
Hey, I like
one of the
that.
best punters in the country, and I'll be honest, he's the fifth highest rated punter on College Football 27.
That would have been a awesome one to have there, and you might have got some good interviews going with him. But
I haven't heard many interviews with him. Is he pretty charismatic on the mic?
yeah, I mean, just because of his experience and growing up with rugby and in that world, um, I think they got him out of. There's like a NFL program for I don't even know what they call it over there, but it's not high school over there. It's something else.
No, because we just got a didn't we have an offensive lineman commit from Germany who was part of that NFL
It's
academy
like
or
NFL
whatever it is?
Academy.
Yeah, it's like the NFL Academy, that thing.
Well,
And
unfortunately, Striker,
he was a two-star.
he's a two. I thought he was a. Was he a 2 star?
I'm pretty sure.
I thought he was a 4 star,
Which means he was a 4-star until he committed to Tennessee. Then they dropped
and
him
then he
to a
was a
two.
2 star. There it is.
Maybe that happened.
Yeah, Mike's got the inside scoop. Striker, unfortunately for you, I guess this was Jackson Ross a senior, right? Was he a redshirt senior?
Yeah.
So this will be his last chance to do it. So we won't see him next year, unfortunately.
No.
We're talking about the video game too, and we still have this one. I don't want to call it lingering, but it's unfinished business dynasty on CFB 2026. Four of us in it. We are four of the top five right now. Everybody undefeated. Striker lost one game, but his schedule is by far the toughest one any of us have faced, I think. So, how you feeling about this 26 dynasty finishing it up?
I plan to finish fourth out of us.
Oh my gosh. You set high expectations down there in Tallahassee, huh?
Listen, they're not working with much.
Well, you're going to make
That
the playoffs
schedule,
this year, it seems.
yeah, I should make the playoffs this year. That schedule, though, was brutal.
Oh, and Mike, I know, is putting up points over in Fayetteville.
I mean, trying. So some days I just don't have the heart to keep going. I guess it's national champion hangover, as Nick Saban used to call that. So some days
Um,
I'm just like, let me just get through this so I can get to the playoffs. And some days I'm just like, man, I'm about to beat the crap out of these Georgia Bulldogs.
Well, that makes sense. You got to run it up.
Yeah.
I'm
I
out in the
mean,
Big 12, so you got to run it up.
if he
What's that?
played in a real comp, I said if Mike played in a real conference, with
That's right.
competition,
That's right. You ain't in the Big 12 out there facing the Baylors and the UCFs of the world. It's hard. I got to put up points just to keep them back, stay ahead out there in Boulder.
No defense out there.
No defense at all in the Big 12, but that may come back to bite me in the playoff. But it looks like we're all going to make the playoffs. Even our old pal Q up there in Minneapolis, as the Minnesota Golden Gophers. So we'll keep everybody posted because I know you all really want to know how our dynasties are going. But I'm still going for that Heisman again. I want that Heisman and I want that scoring title because I know I ain't gonna win a natty.
Is this Q's year? Because I don't, sometimes the way I feel like I don't even want to play anymore.
Especially when you get that new one, it's gonna
Right.
be hard. Yeah.
Right.
So, well, it'll be fun to talk about college football game out, SEC media days, and 49 days from now, we get to hear some live Rocky Top in a packed Neyland Stadium. Mike, you want to
Man,
lead us in our national anthem?
Jesus, it's 49 days. And we get you a good old
Oh,
rock top.
Rocky Top.
Woo!
Woo! Rocky Top, Tennessee.
Go Vols.
Let's go,
Go
Vols.
Vols.
All right. Thank you for listening. We will catch you next week as we continue to preview this upcoming football season. But in the meantime, hope everybody has a good week. This is 4th and 19.